I quit sales funnels and made more money in my business I've ever made in my entire life. And that is because I adopted this strategy that fundamentally can replace your sales funnel, can replace your ads, and can replace pretty much daily posting. And I'm not the only one, okay? Dan Bolton, one of my clients, someone I partner with, has made over $1 million in his business without funnels, without ads, without sales calls, and working only 4 hours a day. Guys, he did this off the back of his content, and he's not the only one. Patrice, another one of my clients, made over $30,000 off the back of one powerful video. One video, and that video helped her to win the School Games, a competition of entrepreneurs trying to make the most amount of money in a month. She won that. She came in the top 10 because of her content. And the next thing is Corey, who tripled his business in the span of a year, ditching sales funnels, ditching all the complicated, outdated marketing, and did this one thing, this one strategy that I'm gonna walk you through in this video. So if you are someone that wants to replace your sales funnel, wants to replace your ads, replace the hard complexity of your business with simple content and a simple strategy, then stick around because this will be the video you'll definitely want to watch. Let's get into it. So I have successfully ditched sales funnels forever. And first, before I go over the strategy and how you can adopt this into your business, I want you to understand why funnels fail, right? Because funnels were a really revolution concept, in the mid 2000s when Russell Brunson created ClickFunnels and this whole idea that you're one funnel away. It totally revolutionized marketing, and it worked. It worked really, really well. But what worked then doesn't work in 2025. So what happens, funnels ultimately is a process, is the journey you take a prospect. The problem in today's day and age is our lead, our prospect, is way more educated. Information is abundant with ChatGPT and AI and our phones now answering our questions for us before we even have them. Information is not an issue. We can get information very easily. What we want is we want to trust someone. This is the problem with funnels, is that they don't build trust. Funnels is simply a process, right? So funnels won't build trust, right? We are in a trust recession. That is the problem. People don't have much trust, right? And I'm sure you felt this way. You've probably been burnt from a coaching program, from a course, from someone who sold you a pipe dream that didn't happen, right? And this has resulted in lack of trust. So they're simply just not, they're just pushing people down a process, right? And the result of pushing people down a process, like a funnel, it's what happens is leads either buy or they die. That's the only decision when you run a funnel. And what this results in is a business that makes you hustle. It means you're always chasing, you're always pitching, you're always, because it's a numbers game, right? Well, if you know leads buy or die, then if you increase volume, you'll get more people that buy. But this is a business that is just hard. Like it's time consuming, it's energy, it costs you money. You're always pouring more and more money into ads, more and more into team, more and more into software, and it becomes not fun. It's not why you got into business. I'm sure you didn't get into business just to run numbers, right? That is not what you got into business for. Okay, so what is this new way? How can we actually create a business and create a marketing model that doesn't allow you to grind for every client? What if clients came to you? What if they were already sold on you, your message, your energy, even your offer? What if they trusted you before you made the offer? This is what my clients are doing. This is what the best top 1% of entrepreneurs are doing online today. They're building trust before they ever pitch. And this is the new way to get clients effortlessly, with ease. Not through pressure, persuasion, or pitching, okay? It's through building trust before the offer is ever made. And the best way to do that is with your content. Your content is the new funnel, okay? Content is the key. Content will unlock everything you want in your business, in your life. I've seen it firsthand, okay? In my 7 years in creating content, I went from never picking up a camera to getting paid to travel across the country, to interview people, to film them on stage, to extract the soul out of them into their business and actually show people what they do best, shine a light on their zone of genius. And that's because trust is the most important asset in 2025, not attention. because it's actually so much easier to get attention now. It is easy to get attention. I could just do some crazy stunt, with a piece of fruit online. I can get attention, but that will not equal buyers. It will not change my life. What will change my life is trust and attracting the right people, quietly or not, consistently. This is the most important thing. And content will help you pre-sell that audience so you never have to close again. I don't know about you, but I'm not a natural salesman. I actually came from a sales background, and I left that field because I don't want to persuade or convince someone to do something they don't want to do. That's not who I am. I just want to invite them into an opportunity to change their life, change their business. Whether they accept or not, it's out of my control. I don't care. It is on you. And so instead of pushing people through this funnel, this outdated, process, basically, we build a system that pulls people in and actually warms up and adds curiosity and adds interest into you, your offer, and what you do for people. So how does this work? How do you take someone who've never heard of you, and is now saying, I'm ready to work with you? Let's get down to the tactics and the strategy. How do we turn strangers into clients? This is what we call the cold to sold flow. This is the 3-step process you can take with your leads and you can turn them into buyers, okay? So most people treat marketing like a funnel. Like I said, they pump in leads and they hope that they can buy, but they don't. Real buyers don't buy fast. They buy when they trust you, okay? So let's skip this because I already went over this into the cold to sold flow. So this is the cold to sold flow, okay? I'm gonna walk you through every step of this process. So the cold to sold flow, how this looks like is that we oftentimes treat customers like they're hot, like they're ready to buy. But 99% of people are not ready to buy, right? Only the top 1 to 10% are ready to buy, and it's extremely hard to find them. That means 90% of your buyers are cold. And so what we need is to take them through a very strategic 3-step process. So each of these are steps. Step number 1 is you need a traffic strategy. You need attention, you need eyeballs, right? You need to get eyeballs on your stuff. And there's only 3 ways you can do this. The 3 ways you can do this are paid, free, or partnership, okay? As you run paid does not mean you are guaranteed clients, right? I've seen this so many times. They rush to paid because they heard someone say that is the secret, okay? That is not the secret. I find, if anything, paid ads is great once you have a spark. Once you have a flame going and you want to amplify it fast, you throw fuel on the fire. That's what ads are. It's putting fuel on the fire and really making sure that fire is huge, right? That is the power of ads once you have something that's working. But if you're in the beginning, you're testing out messaging, you're testing out your offer, I don't recommend ads because you're rolling the dice and wasting your money, because if the messaging is not right, then you're wasting money on showing content to people that will not buy, right? I remember this event. People were saying this Ferrari or this fancy car event. They're showing off very, very fancy cars, and I love to buy a Ferrari or a luxury vehicle, but I'm not there yet. I'm not making that kind of money yet, right? So I'm not the person to send this invite to. Although I was very flattered for this invite, it's I'm not going to be able to afford or buy any of these vehicles, and so they're putting money into paid ads into someone who can't afford it, right? I'm cold. I'm not sold or hot and ready to buy. So that's a perfect example of putting money in ads and just sending it to someone who's not ready, right? So what we want to focus on is free and partnership. So partnership, free, you understand, right? Free is creating content. Partnership is very interesting because that's how I grew my business, was through podcasting. And it's great because literally through podcasting with your guest or a host, you are leveraging someone else's audience. So it's a nice, easy way for both of you to level up very, very quickly, okay? So the first step in this is you have to choose one of these, right? Or a combination, right, of any of these. And that is how you get eyeballs on, your way, your method every single day, right? Step number 2 this is the most important step. This is where most coaches, consultants, experts, creators, entrepreneurs all fall flat. They create content that doesn't create trust. Like I said, we are in a trust recession. So we need a cadence to create content to establish trust, right? And it's not about just posting and hoping, right? It's about actually being consistent with your content. You hear this all the time, consistency, right? You heard it so many times, but guys, this is really important. The reason why you hear it a lot is because it's freaking important. You are always looking for this like super specific strategic strategy, but the basics, like you are missing out on the basic fundamental stuff. Like you can make $1 million business off the back of consistency. I've seen it happen. I've worked with these people. It is like laughable how so many people miss the basics, but this is just being consistent with content. And what I want you to remember is this number, 7. You need 7 hours of content consumed to build enough trust for them to be sold, for them to buy. You want them to buy? They need 7 hours of content consumed. 7 hours. So how much TikToks would you have to make 7 hours? A freaking lot. This is why we focus on long form video, because it's way easier to get 7 hours of content made, right? And consumed, and the shelf life is longer. Like I made a video months ago, it's still getting views today, still getting those content hours consumed and bringing me leads and clients every single day. So the step 2 is the thing that will move the needle and get people from a cold lead to a hot prospect. Okay. Now, once they have gone through your trust loop, the trust sequence, they're now ready for a transformation or a transaction. And this is what we call conversion events. So conversion events are sales calls, webinars, workshops, anything where you are converting them into a client, right? It could be a number of things, right? But the purpose of this is you only inviting people who actually signaled interest. So if I did an ad, right, going back to cold and saying, hey, I'm running this webinar that goes through A through Z, right? Yeah, people may sign up, but are they going to show up? Or are they going to, they're cold, right? So I have to spend a lot of money on ads to get people to show up for that webinar, right? But if I had an email list of people who showed interest in the thing that I do, and I send that message to an email list who've already signaled they're interested, they're warm, they've adopted from my content, they opted in to receive emails, well, those people are way more likely to buy, right? Because we've warmed them up, right? We've actually taken them from cold all the way to sold, okay? So that's a 3-step process. Now, under these steps these are the assets that you want to create to support this. So what you want to do in order to help increase traffic and get more leads, you need some type of lead magnet, and you pair that with one of the traffic strategies. So a lead magnet with your free, your partnership, or your paid, or a combination of everything. You need to pair your lead magnet, right? So my lead magnet, if you want, is the $1 million easy mode marketing blueprint. It is the blueprint to take you from where you are to where you want to be. Build a $1 million content engine on easy mode, right? If you want that, you can download it in the description right here. But this is something that people absolutely want, and guess what? That allows you to get an email and to start building trust, right? Getting them to consume 7 hours. So that's right. If you consume this, you'll start getting more content from me, and you will start building more trust with me, right? Now, the next asset, I say YouTube and podcast videos, what this is what we call a mini VSL, right? So it's not a VSL that lives on a landing page. It's a VSL that lives on your YouTube channel. And what's beautiful about this is that you need 3 mini sales in order to get someone from cold to sold. And the best way to do that is through a mini VSL, a video sales letter. And a mini VSL is not a 60-minute long webinar. It's a 10, 15, 20-minute video that walks people through why they should listen to you, why your way, your new way is the best way for them, and then your offer that they will actually, buy or not, right? And this is paired with your content cadence. So all of my content cadence, when people are subscribed, they are directed to this thing. So free traffic is directed to the lead magnet, and then my warm traffic is directed to the mini VSL. The mini VSL then directs them to my conversion event, which right now is a wait list. So if you want to sign up for that wait list, again, information is down in the description. So you can sign up for the wait list. When the wait list is open, you can book a call, and that is my conversion event to convert them from a prospect to a customer, right? And that is the cold to sold formula. So if you want access to this, I have it again in my $1 Million Easy Mode marketing blueprint. You can access this. You can go through the whole doc and I lay it out in depth in everything. Now, very important to know before you go, there's still a big thing that you need to do in order to make sure this doesn't fail, because everything I just described is all the tactics that anyone can do. But if you do not learn this one thing, this is why 99% of people fail, is because they miss this one thing. And this one thing, okay, is the most important thing, okay? You have to understand what actually makes customers. And I alluded to it before, right? The reason why people don't buy is because they don't believe. They don't have belief. They don't have trust in you, your method, and your offer. And so you need to create content that shifts their beliefs and shifts their trust into you. You need to be a leader, not a guru or a teacher. You need to shift your idea of like, I am this this info person to a leader. That's what people want. People want leaders to lead them to the next phase, to the next island they want to go to a better and new life, or to a better and new business. This is what your prospects want. They do not want to feel like you're just giving them a course, giving them information. They want to have a leader. And if you want to be that person, if you want to create content that shifts beliefs and actually get them sold on you, your method, and your offer, and have them pre-sold, so when they show up for a call, they are already sold, or even better, have no call, they just buy, right? You need this system. You need to understand how to create content like that. And so if you want to create content like that, there is a video right down in the description that you can watch and learn how you can make these 3 sales in your content. This is the most important thing. Pairing this with the cold to sold flow, the opportunities are endless for you, right? I'm doing this now in 2025, and it's never been easier for me to get clients. And so I'm excited to see, in a year from now where I'm at, revenue-wise and in my business, because it's going to completely change the trajectory of how we all get customers. So without further ado, thank you so much. I've been talking a lot. I really appreciate you guys being here. Go check out those resources. Download the lead magnet, the $1 million marketing blueprint on easy mode. Go download that. Go watch that video on how you can get the 3 sales in your content, and let's kill it, guys. Super pumped. Thank you so much. Peace.